And we're live. Hey, everybody. I see we got a couple people in the chat so far. So Martin and I are going to go ahead and get started. There's a few people who are going to be joining in that are on their way home currently. So as they get home, get set up, they'll be joining the conversation as well. So you guys are watching the Friday 3D Printing Community Hangout. Tonight's topic is going to be our favorite prints that we've printed so far, our favorite models, I should say. And then also in conjunction with that question, why it's our favorite. And then to follow up with that, the second part of the conversation is going to be what model we are looking at that is our favorite that we have yet to print. Which I realize is probably an ever-evolving topic or item. So things obviously today may be different than they are tomorrow, and they're probably different than they were 2 months ago. But we're going to just talk about what our favorites are, what we can't wait to print. That's on like the forefront of our list when we get the time to do it. Some of these may be quick prints. Some of them may be very involved prints. We'll have to see what everybody comes up with. So I'll start out. You guys are watching the How I Do It channel. My name's Matt, for those of you who don't know. I do 3D printing, woodworking, metalworking, electronics, just general DIY. I use the hashtag generalist a lot, that I'm a generalist maker, as you can see from my logo. I basically, anything that I don't understand how something works, that's what keeps my interest flowing and continues my gain of knowledge, is just things I don't understand. I don't like understanding something, so I always research it and get to know something better. And that leads me down all kinds of paths. Like right now, my wife and I are getting our Etsy shop up and running. We're messing around with a die cutter that we bought, doing vinyl decals, stencils, and just recently, as of last night actually, we started messing around with screen printing for the first time. I did screen printing when I was in high school, 12 or 13 years ago now, and haven't ever done it since. So we're getting into that now to make t-shirts, to make the How I Do It channel t-shirts, things like that. So that's basically what you can expect to see from me if you continue to follow me in the future. Most of you guys are more than aware of who I am because we're on my channel tonight. So Martin, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Martin, and I have a new YouTube channel that's called 3D Printing Iceland, or 3DP Iceland. I just got my Prusa printer 1.5 months ago, and I wanted to have a YouTube channel to make videos of my process with the printer and make like a document of how I learned to do 3D printing. I also have been doing some improvements in my home, like printing a shelf for a very old refrigerator I have. I've been modeling in Fusion 360, and then lately I have been doing landscape models. I have a project, like a secondary job I have, is to create maps for Iceland, and I have all kinds of information and data to create landscape models. So I use height information to create a model, and what I've been doing is selecting areas of interest and printing them out, and also painting them with paints, and that has been quite fun. And so actually the name of my channel, 3D Printing Iceland, is relevant because I'm printing Iceland, Icelandic models. So I will probably end up printing most of interesting tourist areas, and I've been giving out the models to several people on the YouTube scene. So It's great fun to share the models and show people what I've been doing.
Cool. Do you want to start off with your favorite? What's the number one favorite thing that you've printed so far?
Yeah, the most popular one is actually a model of myself. My kid has brought this to his school and showed everybody. So this is probably the most popular model. I did a scan using a lot of photos and created the model with PhotoScan. That's a program. But my personal favorite so far is probably this landscape model. I still have to paint it, so it's maybe difficult to see the landscape on the video. But this is a very popular tourist area in the highlands of Iceland, and there's a geothermal activity in the area, and the colors in the mountains are great, and it's very photogenic and very popular for photographers to travel in this area and creative landscape photos. And that's one of my hobbies also, to take photographs, and I really like to go there. And the model came out really well, and I was looking at the landscape models I have. I think this is my favorite so far of them. It still has to be painted. I have also a model of the area where I grew up, and that's kind of my favorite just for that reason. It's a very flat model, but still it's my home farm where I grew up, so that's kind of my favorites too.
Awesome. Hey, we got a new newcomer. Wow, newcomer tonight, that is.
Yeah, there are two of them.
Pooch, you're muted at the moment.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah. So we got a newcomer tonight, but it's been a family affair for a little bit, and I'll let him introduce himself if he wants to.
And I'm Biggs.
That's Biggs. That's what he decided his online handle was going to be Biggs.
Biggs.
This is Matt. Who else do we have?
Martin.
All right, cool.
3D printed Iceland.
All right. Hi, Martin.
Hi there.
You want to go ahead and do your intro, Pooch? We didn't get too far into the conversation just yet.
Sure. So I'm Pooch, also known as Repcord to a lot of people. Been 3D printing a while. I have a brand called Repcord, and I try to. I have an online shop that I use to sell 3D printing accessories and filament and stuff like that to help support the obsession. And but just love making stuff and being involved in the community also.
Cool. Hey, Pooch, I'm going to run and go grab something real quick. Do you want to tell everybody what's the top of your favorites of things that you've printed so far?
The top of my favorite things that I've printed so far. You want to start? Why don't you go grab your favorite? You know where they are?
Oh yeah.
And I can talk about my favorite.
I can't grab the turret. I'll take a picture.
Well, take a picture of that one, and then go grab the ones that are your favorite. So my favorite so far, that's tough because I've printed a lot of different things, and I have some different favorites for different reasons. But I teased a little bit earlier on Twitter that Pyro's actually technically got my favorite, which was that nuclear cloud lamp. If you guys haven't seen that, is like one of my all-time favorites. But let me see what I've got here. Honestly, I like printing big stuff. I'm gonna grab my giant vase back here. It's funny because I feel like every new project that I do is like my next favorite. I'm a little obsessed. always looking to up the ante a little bit, but this was one of the coolest first like real good Pet G prints that I did in a clear glass with a large. I want to say this was a 1 mil nozzle, and you can see it kind of got jacked up on the top here, but it was a vase mode. And for as big as this thing is, I want to say it was like a 5-hour print. It wasn't terrible.
5 hours.
Yeah, and I mean on that's one of the things about a Delta, man. It's like, well, I don't know. You think that's fast or slow? What are you saying? Too slow? Too fast?
No, that's fast. For the size of that, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, to be fair, I think it might show a little bit better here than it actually is. Like, knowing what I know now and what I printed, but that's one of the advantages of vase mode. Obviously, is it cooks, right? It's not having to change direction, and then having a Delta, which that's what Deltas shine. It's like they can change direction on a dime and they just kind of keep going. And so, yeah, it really did not take that long to spit this thing out. And it's a single wall, like 1 mil thick. And I just love this design. You want to talk about your favorites, Biggs?
The way the light hits that vase is awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sure people have talked about it before, but like the hotter that you print Pet G to an extent, the better translucency you get and kind of the better optical effects. What's really cool about that, I don't have it, but if you put XTC 3D or one of those finishing things on it, like you can actually get a decent transparency to it, because those layer lines really are what breaks it up. So I'll have to do that and then show a sample of what that looks like, because it opens up some pretty interesting doors. Can Biggs talk about his favorites?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I just did. I didn't want to, take more than our share of time here.
Well, we did make a video of this, but we made some minion goggles with my name on it.
Yeah, we customized some minion goggles. Let's see if we can get that up where people can see it. And Biggs is learning Tinkercad. What are we doing there? That's always tough. And so one of the ways that we like to learn, I'm going to send this and we'll do a screen share for this one, is by taking things that are already made and remixing them. And so one of my favorite things about Tinkercad is that you can import STLs like rather easily from that as compared to like a Fusion 360. And so it's easy to pull stuff in and put your name on it or add some shapes or subtract and stuff. So he did that all by himself, and he drove, and it was a good little project. And he made one for his sisters too, right?
Yeah, but I didn't grab them.
You didn't grab them? No. You mean their goggles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So these ones were cool because supposedly you can put some lenses in them, right?
Yeah.
They had parts on this Thingiverse design where you could actually like do some lenses in them and make the eyeballs and stuff too. But that was a fun project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do we add?
The strap.
A little elastic. I missed what you guys did. You guys?
Was that your internet or mine? You started out there for a second.
Yeah, he breaked up.
Okay. Martin, do you want to show yours again?
Yeah, the favorites. Yeah, this is 3D printed landscape. I'm doing. I'm printing out parts of Iceland, and when I have done painting, I'm printing. I'm doing a paint job on them. So I'm doing volcanoes and mountains with glaciers on top, and
that looks amazing. I saw Lauren featured. You'd sent her one the other day. I think she was showing off. That was your handiwork, right?
Yeah. I sent her one.
Really cool.
Yeah, I sent Travis and Heather one. They just, I think they got one already. So I'm slowly printing out those models and enjoying painting them as well. I've never been doing any paint job on anything, but it's quite good time to paint the models also.
And are you just using like an acrylic paint for that, or anything special?
Yeah, just acrylic paints, and then I just spray it afterwards with like a clear coat to make it glossy. So, and this one actually, I used pens. I have. Gonna get those.
I don't know where they are.
There are the Posca pens. Mini.
I've never heard of a Posca pen. Is that just like basically acrylic paint inside of a pen cartridge?
Yeah, something like that. It's very fluid. So you push down the pen, and it's like a permanent marker. But the paint is very fluid when it comes out, and for this I could blend in the colors and just rub them with my finger to blend in like brown and green and yellow to get different colors. So those are also great. I've been trying those out. But the acrylic paints are just from a hobby store. Some I don't know if this is good or bad brand. It's just what I got. It's Pandoro acrylic paint.
I've got to say, that's one thing that I feel like I really haven't gotten into is the finishing and like all, I'm just amazed by some of the work that people do post print with, all the sanding and the painting and all that stuff. And I just really haven't explored any of that.
Yeah, I was in the beginning. I tried to print out the models laying flat on the print bed, and then the layer lines were really visible. It was difficult to sand them down. So actually, those prints I'm doing are printed on the side on the print bed like this, and I print with a 1 centimeter brim around the model to have it stick. But it can. The problem is like with this one that's rather big.
I heard there too.
Takes very little to shake it when the printed head is on top of it. So I have to have a large brim to have it stick on the print bed. So that's a challenge for the printers to be able to print big.
Are you printing all these is your ultimate plan to do all of Iceland, or are you just doing specific areas of Iceland?
Yeah, just basically my favorite places in Iceland. It would be quite a collection, I think, if I would do all of Iceland.
Yeah, at the scale you're doing it, it definitely would take up some room. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like this print here. It's a rather small area. So if I would print all of Iceland in this scale, it will be thousands of tiles like this.
Yeah.
So it's not very. I would have to get a warehouse of of filaments.
I'm sure it's pretty involved, but do you want to kind of sum up how you go about doing your landscape prints?
Yeah, basically in the software I use to create the maps, I have the digital elevation files, and those are very big, cumbersome files. The data set for Iceland is almost 300 gigabytes in size, so I have to chop a section of it to export it to a STL file, and the mapping software I'm using, it is able to export directly to a STL file. And I've been using Slicer from Prusa, and the limit of the file size that software can import is 2 gigabytes. So a model like this is a 2 gigabyte STL file. So it's really big, and because the underlying model is very detailed. So basically, from my mapping software, I export it as a STL and open it in Prusa, flip it on the side, and slice it with a brim. And I will usually print those with 0.2 layer height, and it has very good detail. So I don't get any layer lines in the mountain areas, but in the flat areas, if I turn it on the side. There is a layer lines visible. So in the model where there is a flat area, like here, I have some layer lines showing up. So I usually sand a little bit the flat areas, just with some sandpaper, maybe 200 grit or 400 grit. But the landscape itself, where there's a mountain area, it's really smooth. So it's quite a difficult process for my computers because the data size is really big. Yeah, it maybe takes 10 minutes to open up in Slicer on my laptop, because the file size.
Are you specifically doing a certain square mileage or kilometers, or is it just your primary focus is the area that is your favorite?
Yeah, basically, like in this model, the goal was to capture the glacier that's in the top of the mountain. So I have the most of the mountain, and the glacier is the main focus. The mountain is a ridge that carries on in this direction from the area, but I usually try to take, like, if you would go hiking or traveling in the area, you would be traveling for maybe one day in this area. So that's usually the size I try to get in one print. But like this area here in the mountains, this area you can probably go hiking for 5 or 6 hours in many directions just in this area, because there are just one road into the area, and there's a hut at the end of the road, and then you can go hiking in the area. So I try to have a like a boundary of travel within the print.
That's really cool. The Happy Extruder wanted to know if it would be possible to add supports on the sides. I guess for some of the ones that have the bigger overhangs and stuff when you're printing vertically like that.
Yeah, I try to have supports. I don't have the model here, but actually I haven't. Even though I had one model that was really steep model, the one I sent to Lauren, and I didn't use any supports there, and it was quite steep overhangs on those, so I didn't need to have the support, but I used the raft or the brim to get the model stable on the print bed. So I was using like 1 centimeter brim all over the bottom part, and I choose the widest part because, like, on this side it's very thin, but I choose this side that is thicker to be the bottom, and so I have to rotate it in the slicers to find the best possible way to place it on the bed.
Cool. So you're always looking for the widest area of contact to be down, just on account of bed adhesion and stability as it's printing, correct?
Yeah, basically.
Which I guess in most cases, besides like maybe that one with the volcano, allows you to have your thickest parts at the bottom and not really have the overhangs and stuff as much as you go up.
Yeah, in most cases, in the model that I sent to Lauren, the mountain was basically in the middle, and the area around it was really flat. So what I did was just added an extra thick layer beneath the model. So the bottom part, like in this model, the bottom is really thin, but in that model I added maybe a 1 centimeter to the bottom of it to have good layer adhesion to the bed. So it's quite a fiddling around with the model before I can print it.
Nick, Lauren's husband, said in the chat that you gave him the idea as you've been talking about it. He wants to 3D print the terrain behind his house that he hunts on, and that way he can hang it up on his wall at his desk and mark out the different areas that they hunt or where they set up their cameras and things like that.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm gonna go along with that same idea. I may end up doing that at my in-laws' property where I hunt.
Yeah, it can be. It's very, very. If you look at a map on a piece of paper, it's maybe difficult to read out the height information if you're not used to reading maps. But if it's a 3D model, it's very easy to see where there are mountains and where there are valleys. So it's very easy to read the landscape when it's 3D printed.
Yeah, and they're actually small enough too. Like if you're going to go backpacking somewhere, like a lot of times I grew up hiking on mountains and stuff, and it's easy to get lost in the different cuts and stuff in the mountain. And looking at, like you said, looking at a topo map it's helpful, but sometimes, man, you can get yourself in places you don't recognize. With that, you physically have the dips and the valleys and everything, the cuts in the mountains. That's really cool, and it's small enough you could throw it in your backpack, and light enough too because it's plastic.
Yeah,
that's a really neat idea.
Yeah,
we got another joiner to the stream. Richard, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, I decided to crawl in here. My name's Richard Murray. I have the Zadim channel. I normally focus in on 3D printing and model trains. But the last week or so, I have been focused on having a workshop so I can move my airbrushing out of the house and things like that. So that's what I'm up to.
Cool. What's your number one favorite print that you've done so far?
I've been pondering when you saw that. Yeah, it's I can't show off much. Almost everything I've printed, I have in use somewhere. So whether it's a camera mount or the hooks for my greenhouse, the practical things, that's the sort of stuff I'm looking at. Now, what I'm working on is an abandoned church. That's the one I really hope comes out well. So it's not one I have, but it's one I want to do. And it's I don't know anything about the age of this church, but it's very small, and it's in very poor condition right now. But that's one I want to try.
Cool. You're looking at modeling that one yourself?
That one, and I'll be putting all the photos into, and my brain's really fuzzy because I did my back and I'm on interesting medications right now. Come on, brain. Where are you here? Agisoft. Yeah. Use Agisoft and see what it comes up for the side of a building. I've seen some interesting examples where people have captured castles and things like that, and they actually get a decent print out of it. So I'm going to give that a try. My thing is right now is I have to get permission to get onto the property to get the pictures, and I finally may have the right contact.
Cool. So I guess real quick, I'll show my current favorite. It's sort of a toss-up between the Shore Trooper helmet and the current one that I still am working on finishing up, my K2SO build that I'm doing. Most of the painting's done on his head. I still got to do the front pieces here that stick out. I haven't printed those. I started to print them, but I wasn't liking the way they came out. The reason this is becoming my favorite, one, I've put a lot of work into this thing. I mean, when I printed this half of the head, it's printed in two pieces right down the middle. This half is one size in the model, and the other half of it was about a half an inch smaller. So what you see here to smooth this whole thing out is actually right in here is about a 1/2 inch of wood filler that I used using Uncle Jesse's techniques to use the wood filler to smooth out the layer lines and everything, which is awesome. I know like Chelsea from Chaos Cortec spends a lot of time sanding. A lot of what she talks about is sanding.
Oof.
I actually didn't do quite as much sanding on this throughout the process. It was a lot of just putting wood filler on, smoothing it out. I don't have a battery pack here for it. His eyes light up. He's got electronics in the head that his eyes light up and they actually flicker. Completely random. It's a true random number generator that causes eyes to flicker intermittently. On the side, this little, I didn't really see that there. The lighting's kind of sucks for this. The little holes there on the side, if you ever pay close attention to the Star Wars Rogue One movie, that lights up red on his head. So does the model. And it flickers as well using the same random number generator. But then the most important thing, and this is the best part about it, there's a servo right here in the bottom of his head, and I need to finish printing the neck and the base for it yet. This will sit on a base, and that random number generator causes his head to turn 180 degrees randomly when it's sitting there. Everything works. The electronics, I programmed the Arduino and everything, got all that working. I just got to do the neck for it and finish it up. I just haven't had the time to do it.
Man, that is fantastic. How many hours do you think you're into that so far?
Actually, you know what? This thing's starting to push more hours than the entire Shore Trooper helmet did.
I don't doubt it.
I've kind of lost track, to be fully honest. And the lighting in here kind of doesn't do this any justice. There's a lot of weathering and everything on his head. You can see some of the scratches and stuff that I've got worked into it, the battle scars.
That's character. I love it.
If I had to guess how many hours I've gotten into printing and finishing and everything, I know each half was 12 hours each to print. I'd say I probably have close to 40 hours in finishing and painting and all that stuff to get it to where it is here, and the electronics and everything.
You know what's crazy is I always call myself like more of a broad strokes maker. Like I just don't have the patience. I mean, I'm just amazed at the amount of time and energy that just goes in. I just don't have the patience. I'm on to the next project, and yeah, I think it's just a different, mentality. But it's like I like going to the next thing. I think it must be my ADD or something at work.
I'll tell you what, I'm the same exact way, and that's why my channel is kind of going to be all over the place. Is because I'm always doing something different.
Right.
And to be fully honest, if a year ago you would have told me that I'd have been printing props and replicas and stuff on my printer and going to the extent of spending 40 hours painting something that's still not even done yet, I'd have told you you're nuts. There's no way I would have sat here and did that. But it's sort of relaxing to go do that at times. To just sit down here and work at painting at it, not have to really be thinking through things. I mean, like there's so many times when I'm painting these that I screw up and I think I just like ruin the entire project, or I have to step back and start way over again. But I'm exactly like you are. I'm always on to the next thing. I want to finish something and go. And that's why this has been sitting here. I haven't touched the K2SO head in probably a month and a half, other than showing it to people and stuff, just because I've been doing other things. But when I just need that kind of time to just break down and not really have to think about much, then I come and work on that. So it's sort of my vacation time from having to think about everything else.
Totally.
But yeah, I'd have never told you I had the patience to do something like that either. The Shore Trooper head is what really kicked me off and got me started on doing them.
Yeah, it's like same for me with the paint job on the mountain models. It's really relaxing. You can just spend 1 hour, approximately 1 hour of paint time doing each model, and you totally forget about everything. You just carry on with the paint, and if you screw up, you just wait a little bit for it to dry and paint over it, and It's not anything I would have imagined me be doing 2 months ago before I got the printer. So it's 3D printing brings you into all kinds of stuff.
Chris said I could have printed 2 of the K2SO heads on the Raise 3D N2s that he was looking at today.
Wow.
Well, Chris, if you got a good word with him, tell him I'd be willing to prove that. Yeah, so that one's that's quickly becoming the top of my list as far as my favorite things that I've been working on, just because the amount of time I put into it and the electronics and everything. And actually, to be completely honest, that started from a request on Twitter. Somebody wanted me to print one for them and finish it, and this is basically became my demo. I did the Shore Trooper helmet. My plans were to go through and do all the Star Wars droids and helmets full scale. And that's where that came from. So I've been working at that. The electronics are sort of my own touch to it on top of what they requested. But yeah, it's definitely become a favorite. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Biggs is showing. This is the one mask that I've tried my hand at, and it's not nearly as finished and clean as polished, but it's some Pet G that I also did on that with a giant. I think this one I had the 1.2 mil nozzle on, and this is actually like the mascot for one of the web development groups I'm part of. If any of you guys have ever heard of Drupal or built a website on Drupal, the Drupalcon is the thing. So I go to the meetups and annual get-togethers for that that side of my life, and I thought that might make for an interesting annual conference this year. So we'll see how that goes down.
Yeah.
Oh, look at it! My wish has been granted.
Hey, he's finally here.
The legend. That's actually timely too, because Trav, I'd like to hear. You're a very detail-oriented guy and have done some amazing prints and spent time on stuff. I don't know if you heard Matt's whole bit on. I don't know if you can even hear me right now.
I was gonna say he took his headphones off. I don't know if he's on it.
Travis, you hearing us yet, bud? He's not dialed. He's not fully dialed in yet. Let's let him.
We'll give him a minute.
Give him a minute to catch up. I'm gonna see. Biggs wanted me to show off one of his other favorite prints that we did. That I just got a screen grab of, so I'll do a screen share when we get a sec here.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see here. Hold on, give me a second to bring it up. Somebody else filled the dead air.
Just as he put his head up, this is the new addition to the pack. We just adopted him on Tuesday. This is Max.
Is he lab? What is he?
He is a lab, a blue healer cross. He's 9 years old, was at the shelter for 6 months, and not socialized to other dogs, but loves people.
Looks like a good boy there, yeah.
Trying to get him used to the cat in the house, and those two aren't getting along yet.
So the cliche is true. It's a stereotype for a reason, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. What you doing? Huh? But and he's not too sure about these 3D printing moving parts thing that's in the house either. So I have to introduce him to the house.
Do the noises bother him, or is he just?
I think it's the noise is one thing, because you got TVs. We have this. That's probably why he jumped up. But then there's movement with the noise, and that's the big thing.
Oh yeah.
Especially when the filament rolls, you get a little bit of clatter as the reel moves a little bit more. And so those sorts of things are just an introduction. And it turns out I just read his surrender papers, and he was a strictly outdoor dog before he got surrendered. So I have to move him in. But no, the big thing I'm working on, there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to stop you. Sorry. I should have.
You got him up. Talk about him.
Biggs, you want to talk about this? Is Biggs' other favorite. This is our on our bathroom door for the kids right now, and it's one of his favorites that we picked out. Fun design, from an
Tells you
Italian
that
designer.
It's the bathroom.
It tells you that it's the bathroom. That's right.
And this is my lucky.
Hold on, we got to turn this off so people can see. How do we stop? How do we stop the screen share?
Yeah, it's back to you guys.
Okay, cool. You want to show the other thing?
Yeah.
What's that guy?
This
If
is
you guys,
this is a turtle.
so that's one of the Squishy Turtle series. If you guys haven't seen those yet, those are really fun. There's a whole different set of mix and match shells, and it's a really fun print to do, and you can do them in TPU and stuff. I think originally they were designed to be done like flex, although we did these rigid. But we've got different colors. We use these as demos to show off the different color filament we have and stuff like that. They're up there. I can grab them in a bit if you want. So those were fun, huh? And you like that? The kids just love the. What's really neat, actually, I just love design like this. It's a print in place, springy feet to it. And you can see from the way that it was like done that it's just all integrated as one piece, but it allows the feet to spring. And I just love design like that. It's so simple in its implementation, but just adds a whole nother dimension to the whole print, you know? And for those that are fidgeters like we are and have to have something to fiddle with in their hands, it's perfect.
Can also pop back in.
And then, yep, show them that. Gotta hold it up so they can see. You can go to the close-up cam too, but that's all right.
Okay.
Well, just hold it up here. Head in, head out. In, out, in, out. There you go. Good, showing off, bud.
I've started playing with turtle models because we have a wildlife sanctuary not too far from here, and every spring you get the big signs out, you know, caution, turtles crossing. And they were quite serious about it. When I was taking some firefighting courses over on that side of the valley, yeah, every time I was heading there, I'd normally see 3 or 4 turtles on the road. And so the papers publish articles on how to properly help a turtle across the road, things like that. But I thought it'd be a great model to play with.
That was
I love the leg
the
design.
turtles that are featured on Thingiverse, isn't it?
It is. I'm just grabbing the link right now because
Yeah,
Josh
I got
was
it.
asking about him. Did you got him? Oh yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I got
it anyway. Perfect. Thank you. Design.
So,
link.
real quick before we go to Travis, for those of you guys who don't know, Pooch said about that he sells filaments and stuff, and I just got this in the mail on Wednesday, I believe it was. For those of you who don't know, he does a Wednesday stream, I believe it is.
Yep.
That, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, not every time necessarily, but he does do giveaways, and he sent me this awesome box. It's 1 kilogram total, but it's half kilogram or a quarter kilogram spools.
Right.
So you get 4 different collars in a pack. And he makes these specifically for the maker bots, but they'll work on almost any printer as far as the spool setup goes. So just so you guys who don't know, haven't caught one of Repcord's streams, definitely check them out because occasionally you might walk away with something awesome just for being in the stream.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hey, Trav, are you on? You hearing us now?
Yeah, my laptop was hooked up to like my Bluetooth headset and it wouldn't like disconnect, so I was having issues there. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were talking earlier about, like, I've always said, like, I'm a broad strokes maker. Like I'll do a project and it's quick and I'm on to the next, as you know, you've seen with what I brought you. And you, my friend, are like the antithesis of that, where it's like you're so, you know, obviously detail oriented and spending, I mean, just countless hours on your logo projects and stuff like that. And has that always been your nature?
Yeah, pretty much. I have an idea and I always try to keep it simple, but then simple goes to, oh, what if I did this? And what if I did this? And then I'm like, it'll just keep going and steamrolling. It's the ideas in my head always get bigger. I cannot have a small idea and it drives me crazy sometimes, but that's just what happens.
Sometimes taking that idea to implementation is a big jump, though, right? Because what's the saying? Like, I hate that saying though, that ideas are cheap, because it's like, yeah, well, I mean, everybody has an idea, but you know, good idea married with a good implementation is a thing of real beauty, and that is something that you do very well, my friend.
Yeah, I've been working on this one for probably maybe 4 months, something like that now. I'm just trying to finish it up tonight. You guys get a little sneak peek. It actually has lights and sound.
Multimedia extravaganza.
Can't really show you what else is going on with this because I'm not supposed to show it off yet, but
that's a good tease.
This one's gonna be, yeah, this one's gonna be showcased at the New York Maker Fair and stuff. So
oh, cool.
At one of the booths.
I bet I know which booth.
You might know which booth. I only got this thing from Martine. I guess I'll open that up too real quick.
Right on.
He was showing those off earlier. They looked awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, show off your last the last. Oh no, I guess it's already gone. The last one that you just the
Mario one.
You still have Mario, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the first one I've gotten to keep in like I don't even know how long because I made it for myself.
That wasn't your last one though. What was the last one you just released?
Which one?
You did one.
I did Tessa's.
We saw Sparky Face. That was a couple ago. Was the Mario the last one you did before this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That was the last one. I'm gonna open this up real quick.
It's who's Sparky Face? That's Tessa. She lives in Australia. She's our friend from down
like
under.
this crazy epoxy smell coming at me right now.
You have any nostril hairs left from like all the fumes you've breathed?
Not from this. It's like from my stuff that I was working on earlier. You taped this thing up good. I guess it's coming from Iceland. So.
Yeah.
He's still in here, right? Oh yeah, there you are.
Did you open the box?
I'm opening the box right now.
You didn't call me?
I didn't call you.
That's mean.
I can tell it's
Come on, Heather.
printed with pink.
Well,
Yeah, it's for both of you. So.
Ooh.
Hello, live unboxing.
Check that out.
So what exactly are these? I kind of missed the thing. I'm going to read it too. But... Hey, come over here. You want to see?
I can't.
Yeah, it's printed in pink PLA for Heather.
Are these like actual from Iceland or where is it? Terrain from Iceland?
Yeah, it's a mountain area in Iceland.
That's awesome. There's candy in here too.
Oh, they Haribo?
Yeah.
You got the gummies?
Yeah. Gummies.
Yes!
And
well done, Martin.
Mix.
Snacks, man. It's got to have the snacks.
Super Mix.
What? Super Mix?
Nice.
Showed that.
Do they have like
What did I show?
crazy...
I didn't show, kind of, a little bit.
Oh my gosh, you're horrible.
I'm going to have to read this stuff later. I don't want to read all that on
On stream.
on stream. Ooh, sticker, too.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, that swag.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have to share the candy.
I think Harborough needs to come out with a 3D printer pack. We must be doing very good business for them.
They're probably quietly going, "What in the world is happening?"
You're like, our business has increased like tenfold the last 2 years. We have no idea why.
Oh, man.
Looks like we got another joiner here.
We do. He turned his camera off, so I'm not sure if he's ready yet or not.
Oh, he's hiding.
Travis, real quick.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
There he is.
Hey, what's up, man?
This is actually my first ever live stream that I've joined, so I'm like hacking my way through it.
All those goodies.
Yeah, don't worry. I haven't been on a live stream in like 2 months, so I was just like running wires everywhere and trying to get stuff set up all for like half an hour, and then my headphones weren't working.
Sounds super not stressful at all.
Yeah.
It's funny
It's
because
a Friday night hangout, not a Friday night stress out.
Yeah, seriously. Saying like I do this all the time for work, and it doesn't ever seem to be nearly the production. Probably not as concerned with lighting and stuff generally.
Sure.
Heather's gonna read the letters.
Travis, do you want to do your intro real quick? Let everybody know who you are. I don't think there's too many people here who don't know who you are, but
there could be. Travis from A Power Design, and I basically bring logos to life. As you can see behind me, this is I've done it for lots of big YouTube channels, and I just do it for just any other random thing that I want, any cool geeky thing that I want to do. And I've been trying to do that actually more lately because I've found out with doing so many YouTubers, I was never doing anything for myself, and I want to do a couple of fun things that I've had in my mind for the last couple of years. So I'm going to start doing more of those now. And basically, I use 3D printing, laser cutting, anything I can get my hands on to build stuff. I started putting lights and stuff, as you guys saw. Sound. This is actually the lights in here are actually a Rite Aid little kit that I bought, and oh man. Yeah, and I 3D printed little spaces for it to go into, and then I just strung it all in here, and I actually wired a switch into it. This is going to be a box that opens, so when the box closes, it'll turn off, and it'll pull on this little tab to make the sound, and then turn the lights on. So,
that's awesome.
Where'd you find that sound?
The sound thing is just like a little greeting card, record your own greeting card thing. I got on Amazon for like $10 or something like that. So I didn't actually make any wiring or anything like that. I just like bought stuff and kind of hacked it together.
Good hack is never a bad thing.
So
right,
I guess go to Andrew.
Andrew, go ahead with your intro, and you can go ahead and tell us what your most favorite thing is that you've printed so far, and why.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. So, hi, my name's Andrew Sink. I'm with 3D Central. We're a 3D printing store based out of Richmond. I've been 3D printing for like 5-ish years, and started as someone who just like saw a printer at a college that had like a sheet draped over it, like, do not touch, this thing is currently broken. And I was like, wait, it can make anything? Like, why isn't it being fixed? So, and I've basically just been playing with them ever since. And it's funny that the stream is like favorite thing ever, because just today, I actually finally got around to making a print for my favorite thing ever, which has been sitting on a shelf. And that's this. About 1.5 years ago, I had an MRI, and they gave me a CD with like all the MRI scan data. And
you printed his brain.
Yes, this is actually like, this is a 100% scale, like 1-to-1 copy of my brain.
Okay,
that's awesome.
We might as well just stop the stream here. You win.
Yeah, that top
Andrew wins the internets.
It was so surreal, because they gave me a copy of the data, and they were like, well, no one ever does anything with this, but it's a formality. And I'm like, what's on the CD? And they go, oh, just all of the data that you would need to make a model of your brain. And
why is the frontal cortex so small, though?
Oh, just
no,
this is, so I've got like a bunch of, I've had this one for a while, but now I'm like, when I made this about 1.5 years ago, and now that I've really expanded, like I've got a bunch of printers that can print flexible stuff, so I want to make a big pink flexi one. I have a Taz that's got, you know, the 12-inch build plate, so I want to make a mold for this, so I can make a life-size gummy brain.
Oh
and like make little tiny, like a 12-cavity chocolate mold, so for Halloween I can just give out little brains. Basically, for that and like 1,000,000 and other reasons, this is my favorite thing I've ever printed.
You know what? And I saw that at Nova, didn't I? That was sitting
yeah,
on the
I had this with me. Yeah. So Matt actually came to Nova Maker Faire, which was one of the
that is
we go to a bunch of maker fairs. I brought this with me because this is my favorite. Like, look, it's a thing. So, and it's on Thingiverse too. A bunch of people have commented on it. I keep waiting. Like, all the stuff we've uploaded on Thingiverse is 20, 30 makes or something like that, over like 100 models. Like, we get emails every day. But this is the one thing that no one's made yet, and I keep waiting for somebody to print one out, like a tiny copy. If anybody's an idle printer later. So yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, Chris is right. Isn't it supposed to be gray? Gray matter? Is that the next one?
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be gray, and the only people who catch that, it's always people in either literally brain surgeons or just people who are extremely nerdy about biology will kind of come up and they'll say, "I see you made it in pink. It should really be gray." And it's like, you got me. But a gray full-size brain is not nearly. This is Hatchbox pink, so it's like boom. So
yeah, it grabs your attention more for sure.
Yeah.
You should, strewn out a bunch of ibuprofen and put on there, and then have your brain on drugs.
Make a little smashed one.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Come on, who remembers that? That was a good old.
Oh sure.
PSA.
With the frying eggs.
Yeah, the frying eggs.
With
That's
the frying eggs.
Yes. Put a couple eggs too while you're at it.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
Heather.
Yes, we technically got another newcomer here, Heather.
I know. Travis went to go get the other headphones because he's like, I won't be able to hear if I come on. So he went to go get other headphones. But
You just
hi,
gotta stick your heads
everyone.
side by
How's it
side and
going?
stretch them out.
I know, right? They're like, here, we can share. And I was gonna say, Andrew, your pink brain is beautiful. I love it.
Thanks. No, it's like it's by far the pinkest thing I've ever made.
It's amazing. I love it. I didn't get to see this. I was looking at this.
What?
The little Iceland thing we got. This is awesome. You have to read the letter about it, Travis. Okay, he's coming back now.
Travis, for the switch in the base of that thing, is that a light switch or is it like an actual physical switch that goes off?
This one, you're talking about this, Andrew?
Yes.
The switch. It's a physical switch. Do you have one of the other ones, Trav? Oh, we got these little switches on. We just bought them, I think, on Amazon, didn't we? And it's just like a little.
Outside.
I forget what it's called.
Does it say on the back?
Maybe. NC normally CL switches. I don't know. But yeah, so it's just like an actual physical little switch that he wired into the light strand that he bought.
Cool. I built a engagement, like a ring box recently, and I was having like a nightmare of a time adding a switch. I got one of those like $7 greeting card sound cards that you can just program, but I was having it was just a nightmare trying to get a little switch to actuate in a box. So I just made a light activated one. So when you open it, it just goes off immediately.
Oh, nice.
So
go ahead.
I was hoping this guy doesn't accidentally like open it in his pocket or something, or have like a flashlight, or like.
Oh, I'm swearing. I'm swearing already. I've been on camera for 2 minutes. Sorry. Yeah, this one. Well, that's what Travis bought for the sound, was the like greeting card thing, but not for the lights. So we had to figure that out. Well, and it was weird because he needed it the opposite, like what you would need. You wanted the light to come on when the box opened, and it's super easy to find switches the other way, but not that way.
Yeah.
So
it was a challenge.
Yeah.
Andrew,
was that a commission job? Did someone ask you to do that? That's cool. That's awesome.
I'm quietly browsing Thingiverse looking for Andrew.
You can literally search. I think you can just search Andrew Sink Brain and it'll pop up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does anybody else have their brain out? Are you the first person to actually have their brain physically printed?
How did I do it? Brain scan, MRI. Now I'm on Thingiverse too looking for it. Okay, if you search MRI brain scan,
that's his brain.
MRI brain scan will bring it up. All right, I got to add my name to that then.
Yep, there it is.
I think it'd be interesting if people started printing their livers.
Yeah, immediately after I posted this, like everyone I ever met showed up with an MRI scan. Like, this is my knee and this is my liver. A friend of mine had a torn meniscus and he had a CD. Like, can you make me a copy of my meniscus? It's like, yes, but it's not going to look nearly as like boom as like a brain.
That is just. I'm sorry, but you win.
No, there's like yeah, but it doesn't like light up or do anything cool. It just sort of sits on a shelf.
Going down, lights up. I was like, I can do that.
Mick says he needs black filament to print his liver. That's healthy, right?
No, that's gross.
Oh, awesome! You can look at chat in a different window. Okay, this live stream thing makes sense.
No, you're not allowed to chat and chat.
So you've never live streamed yourself, just like nothing?
No, I'm watching the YouTube chat window in one window, and then I've got Hangouts in the other. Is that
Sure,
right?
that's
Is
how
that
you
how you
really
do
know
it?
you're
Like,
You start live streaming, just chatting with yourself, just to practice, or is it you just gone that crazy?
that would be bad.
Yeah.
No, I've got the YouTube chat window up here. Okay, cool. I think I got it. I'm good.
Yeah, you want the YouTube chat, not the Google chat.
Yep.
So
You
Heather,
figured out now?
Yeah.
Ah! What is hot over here? Oh, it's a laptop.
I didn't leave the soldering iron on, I promise.
I thought he did. He was soldering earlier, and I thought he left the soldering iron on.
I got crap all over this
Yeah,
table. There's
it's
like
really
oil
messy.
everywhere. And
Sorry, guys.
Let's see it. Let's see it. I want to see it.
you want to see my table?
I want to see how the sausage is
Pretty
made.
bad.
Oh, it's so bad right now.
Hold on.
can't be worse than mine.
It's like stuff everywhere.
Yes.
Oh,
It
it's
makes me
horrible.
feel better about myself, Travis. I
Oh.
appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's not even. I moved some stuff so I could put the laptop over here so we could stream.
Did you shovel it? Just shovel it into a can of some kind or the
Pretty
drawer?
much.
He just
Yeah.
shoveled it onto the floor
Yeah.
around the table. Uh,
Hey Matt, can I tease my latest project? I didn't unfortunately get the print out, but I'm very excited about this one.
Sure.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
You know what it is, right?
Yeah. Okay. Now I do.
All right, everybody. This is going to be a good one. This is Matt, as seen by a Xbox Connect, right? Right, Matt?
Yep.
And then what we're doing here is we're making Harry Matt
nice.
right here. And this is going to be
Oh my
awesome.
God,
I'll get the heat gun out, and we're going to really see what kind of styling we can do. We might have to print a couple of them just so that we can really dial in that facial hair. But the problem is I don't have the right shade of reddish, brownish filament, so I need to figure that out. This would be sweet if I could do a 2-color print or something so it's not too dark. But we'll have to figure this out. Also, it looks like the scan didn't quite work here, so we're going to throw like an ear stud or something right here. Fill in that hole.
I love that laugh.
Jen's checking this out. That is my head scan. This
I feel like you don't really get the true impact of this until it's like
so you can do.
until it's done. So we'll see what Harry Matt turns out like.
I don't know if you guys caught Jen's look on her face about that one.
It's like, oh my god.
Here's the printed version of that, minus the hairy face, the bearded.
Yeah. That actually, the detail you got on that looked pretty good. Did you do some kind of finishing on that? Was that XTC or something? Let me
Yeah,
see.
this is actually just vase mode. Actually, to be honest, this is sort of a crappy version of the print. Done on the TiVo Tarantula. Hang on a second.
Is there a hole in it for, say, like a brain to go into?
It's a flower pot.
It's totally a flower pot.
Let's stick it on.
Fantastic. Or a beer stein.
There you go.
I love it.
That's done on my Delta.
Is that some polyalchemy? What am I looking at here?
Actually, that is collar fab. I don't know the exact color. Just a light blue collar fab.
It looks like it had a hard time with your nose.
Kind of, yeah. It's like it flattened it out. My nose isn't flat.
Still, honestly, for a Connect, like, you know, it's I don't know how many people have tried 3D scanning and stuff. You think that's funny? Huh? But like that seems like a decent, you know, job for like using an Xbox Connect. You know?
Yeah, that and considering when I did that scan, I literally sat here in my desk and held the Connect like this and went around my head with
Nice.
Connect. So I mean that is what that came from. It did have, admittedly, like right back in here on my head was the Grand Canyon. So I had to fix that. It just has a big divot in the back of my head. This one here actually lights up. You can see the wires hanging out of it.
Light up Matt head. It's not vain if it's for science.
So now we need to put Andrew's brain in Matt's head.
Yeah,
See what happens.
exactly.
Frankenstein it, baby. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Matt, do you think it would have done better had you say like mounted the Connect bar and then like sat in a chair and like spun slowly or something like that?
I have. You guys can't see it. It's right here behind my chair. I have a human-sized turntable that I built because my oldest daughter, wants me to do a full body scan and do a 3D printed doll of her. So I built. It's a about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet platform with a Lazy Susan bearing on it, so I can actually mount the Connect on a tripod, leave it stationary, and only change the up and down, the vertical angle of it, and then have the person just sit on there, and I can just turn them around slowly on the platform instead. That, if the person stands smooth enough, that should actually work really well. But honestly, I put the big rotating platform together and haven't really tested it at all yet.
Yeah, when I did this model, I had my wife taking photos, and I was standing outside,
Nice.
and I had a problem before. I was using my lights inside, and then the lights were creating shadows, and shadows are the worst part of when you're doing a model like this. If you have to have very diffused lighting when you take the photos or do the scan, so the shadows won't interfere with the model, and it can be difficult on dark. Here there's a small dent in the head here in my hairline, but when I was doing this here inside with bright lights, the model was all messed up. So lighting is very important when you do a scan like this.
Yeah, my lighting when I did mine definitely was not optimal. Now I also have another version of my head that David Preet did, the artist that's doing the 3D printed American flag composed of people's heads. He did that and sent me the digital scan of my head. I haven't had a chance to I downloaded it just in case he ends up removing it from his Google Drive, but I do actually have what's supposed to be a higher quality scan of my head than the Xbox Connect could do. Do you have yours there, Andrew?
No,
Andrew, what did you grab?
No, we're talking about Connect stuff, and it's just I have a Connect in the shop. We do scans for people, and like this is even when you get the lighting right, like that. Everything that everyone's holding up is like kind of the exact like representation of like a good Connect scan. You can't really get much closer than that. But I did a scan back in like 2012. I had to go like find it because I was like, it's here somewhere. I've got seriously millions of copies of this thing. But this was a Connect scan that a friend of mine worked for Hasbro and actually did the sculpting on like action figure faces. Like he would draw like 3D model like the face of a Batman action figure. And so I sent him my 3D file and I was like, can you make this look better? And so he sent me back this. And this is another one of like, this one's I think 80% scale. But for years it was my like, I think I got it in 2012 and like it was Christmas, birthday. Anytime somebody had like some kind of occasion, it was like, you get a face, you get a face, you get a face.
Look under your seat, you get a face.
No, like, that's where you put like instead of the dead horse, you put an Andrew face in the bed.
Yeah. And it's like I could never. I still like years later. I did it with 123D Catch, like the iPhone app back when that was a thing, which is like kind of Connect quality, but like still like 5 years later, and like the best you can get is this is a friend of mine, and like this is about as close as you can get to.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good for Connect. It was just everybody always gets like the hole right here.
Yep.
Because like. It's like trying to take a selfie and like getting like the back of your head. Like it's kind of tough. Like, so everybody gets a hole.
That's where the brain goes.
That's the brain. No idea how bad. I want to make a hinged one of these.
Get the brain in there.
Yes.
Like, put the brain
For
into
Halloween,
it.
Andrew, come on.
Gosh, do it, please.
Punch bowl style. Yeah.
The public demands it.
Freaking amazing.
We got another one joining us here on the stream. Vicky, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what your so far your most favorite print is that you've done?
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Vicky from Teagle 3D. I also from Virginia, like Andrew, and Design Make Teach, who's in the chat, is from Virginia too. So go Virginia. So my favorite print, I tend to do my own models, and I tend to get really high off the creative process. So I'm always sort of partial to whatever I just finished, like whatever had just come to life, the idea that came to life on the printer.
I was totally going to say that, Vicky, but I didn't get a chance to say what my favorite model is. I was totally going to say that. That's awesome.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
As far as staying power, I think what I would have to go with is a few years ago, I did a little anglerfish. This is a version. I did the original one in glow fill and bronze fill. Hopefully this shows up okay. Yeah. I still have single extruder machines. So this was, I put cavities in place. I printed all the glow fill pieces, and then I, inserted it in while pausing the prints. And for a while, this little guy create some negative connotations a little bit. He won me a contest, a Reddit printed solid contest. I got a lot of free filament. But it was also, I pushed myself really hard to do this. It was right around Christmas time. We were getting ready to go out of town. So I was staying up really late doing the modeling. And I had one shot to get the print, to submit it for the contest. And it was bronze fill. I couldn't put it in the tumbler. So I was standing at 2 in the morning. And then I got out the steel wool, and it's getting steel wool bits everywhere. So for the longest time, when I thought of this model, I would just remember sitting in my bathtub at 2 or 3 in the morning with the steel wool, like furiously trying to finish it off.
I've had those moments.
Yeah. Submitted to the contest, but now it's been some time, and now I'm fond of them again. I don't think of the exhaustion. I think of the victory of and figuring out a way to make it work with the resources that I had. So there we go.
Awesome.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, I got so many compliments on Vicky's necklace on the solar eclipse. It was so everyone was like, "I love what you have going on right here. This is amazing. That's so cool. Where'd you get it? How did you get that?" And so yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, I missed the ball on that one. I should have just printed a bunch and took it with us to the totality range, because everywhere, like rest stops and convenience stores, strangers were coming up to me and complimenting it. I should have been like, "Oh, would you like one? Here you go."
That's awesome.
Cool.
All right, guys. The kid version of this stream is about to end. Biggs just wanted to say goodnight because he's got to go down. He's got a big soccer tournament tomorrow. With how many games you playing tomorrow?
3.
3 games. 3 games tomorrow. They're doing their tournament. The soccer just started. So say goodnight.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Hopefully you can catch up with us again.
Bye.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right. Here, let me show off this real quick if none of you guys saw this.
Oh, none of you guys.
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
What? Come on. I didn't get to show off anything. I got to show off something. All right, that's good.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, he's gone. You can swear again, Heather. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I know. Sorry. I know. We were at dinner, and I swore, and I was like, "Oh, sorry. I was the first one to swear at dinner." In like the first 5 minutes, it was really bad.
And then we were all swearing. It was great.
And then it was bad. And then Ari was swearing, and it was great. No.
Ari's
No. What? What? Who's talking? Nobody's talking.
All right. So did everybody get to share their favorite print so far? Okay.
Did you share?
Let's go on to what is your current favorite thing, or not favorite thing to print, but the thing that you want to print most. So your favorite model out there that you've seen that currently is like on the forefront of your mind. I've got to print this.
Does it have to be?
Go ahead, Vicky.
Something you've seen out there? I messed up my answer for this.
I mean, if there's examples of it, that'd be cool. If not, I guess do your best to describe it, maybe.
Well, I've been doing little houses. I want to do the house that my grandfather built, that my father and his 6 siblings all grew up in. And so I'm hoping to have that done Christmas time this year to give him out as gifts. I mean, it's not as exciting as Andrew's head, but should still be sentimental to my family.
Cool. Martin, let's get back to you again.
Yeah, the project I'm currently working on is finalizing is my maker coin. I started to do a maker coin with the 3D model of my head, and this was the first one. It's really tiny. It's like a penny. It has my face on it, so, but it was really small. And then I created this version that is a little bit bigger. It has my face on and my channel's name on the other side. But it was rather thick. So now in the current version, I have a model with a 3D Printing Iceland logo on one side and my face on the other side, and on the top there is my name, and I'm printing this like this on the bed with a small piece that I break off to get it stable on the bed. But with this I can do like a coin with a detailed model of myself, so it's more like a real coin than some of the maker coins that are with just the logo in. So that's something I'm working on, and I think I got the design where I'm quite happy with it. So that's the version I have now.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw those printing on, or you had posted some pictures of Twitter on that, and I was like, holy moly, that's pretty. It's standing straight up. It looks so cool awesome on the print bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real quick, back to Vicky. Tony Ryan in the chat wants to know if you're going to make your grandfather's house into a Christmas ornament with snow or glitter or anything on it.
Probably. I do a lot of Christmas ornaments, so it'd probably most likely be a Christmas ornament like, I have a failed one I can reach that my 4-year-old poured sand on. This isn't my grandfather's house, but it'd be sort of like this, but without sand on it and broken chimneys and all that jazz. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's see. We'll go to Pooch since you were second up in the stream.
All right. Just a second here. I'm just saying my farewells to Zadim.
I just thought that he was leaving.
So aside from the hairy mat, which I'm very excited to print to see how that actually turns out, I am really excited to be doing this because this is a soup to nuts. This has been a long project of mine too. We're doing a addition to our house that I modeled and we'll be building and stuff ourselves. That's like an extension of our garage with an apartment above. I mean, it's a massive undertaking, and it's taken me a year just to get and I just got the permit approved for it. And so I did the whole thing in SketchUp, and then I started printing a scale model, and so far I'm just working on the trusses, but there's something like 40 of these between like how many need to get sandwiched together and the walls and stuff. But what's cool about this is the new version of SketchUp with their feature that allows for better thin wall extrusion is coming in real handy, because at the scale that I'm able to print all the components of it, there's some pretty narrow stuff, and I found a big difference between going from like 313 or 3.3 something to 4.0, just in the ability to get kind of more fine-grained detail without having to scale the whole thing up beyond what I could do on my printable thing. So it'll be interesting actually getting all the scale components of the walls and the trusses and then I haven't figured out how exactly I want to sheath it yet and whatnot, but I'll start with the skeleton and go from there. There's no need to do it, but I figured I already had the thing modeled because I had to do it for my elevations and some other stuff. So hey, why not print it, right?
Cool. Let's go to Travis and Heather. And Heather, I don't know if you gave your favorite print either that you've already printed.
Oh, go get my thing.
What thing?
My Tigger.
Oh, where is it?
It's on the table downstairs.
Oh, thanks.
Nick already running upstairs. He doesn't want to run up and down the stairs. My favorite thing that I printed recently was the Tigger, the big Tigger that I printed. That's the Chaos Cortec model that he did for me last year during his Printmas, and I printed it giant on the CR10 and I just painted it, so that was pretty fun. My favorite, or my model that I want to print is, I want to finish my RC car because it's been taking me forever to print it, because I feel like every time I go to start a piece on it, then we're needing to use the printer for something else, because I've been printing it all on the Zix. Oh, Tigger. This is my big Tigger.
Nice.
And so I just painted it with silver, and because the consensus was to not paint him all the way. People kind of got a little freaked out about that.
Because it must be pink.
It must be pink. And so, because I was going to like airbrush it and do all this cool stuff, but it's cool though. I think it's pretty fun still, and it holds its essence. So this was a cool model that Garrett did, and then I printed it giant. Oh, get the little one.
Really?
I know. Sorry, go. You're on that side. You're on the outside side. Oh, fun. Okay, here's the, just for scale. So that's the original one that Garrett did, and Chelsea finished it and painted it for me. And then this is the one I printed. So for scale, banana for scale. So that was pretty fun. And then, yeah, so I'm printing my RC car slowly but surely. Daniel Norrie probably hates me because I'm constantly emailing him. I'm like, okay, I need a piece. And he sends me like 3-piece STLs at a time to print. So it's coming along. We'll see. You're up.
What am I up for? What are we talking about?
Did you say
I've been running around. I don't know what's going on.
What you want to print.
What I want to print? I want to print all kinds of things.
Print all the things.
Print all the things. I don't know. Like, I never have anything that I want to print because I don't get a lot of time to print just like random thingiverse things or fun things. I'm usually working on the project and then I'm moving to the next project. So I'm currently working on that box over there, and I just finished the Mario logo, and I got a couple other things I'm working on.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that I want to print though. I can't think of anything actually.
Real quick, not to interrupt and change the topic. Design, Make, Teach. Josh was just getting out of the chat. He said he hopes to meet up with a bunch of us up at Maker Faire, New York. He also hinted that there may possibly be a 3D printing contest from NASA around the time of New York Maker Faire. So just a heads up to everybody, something to keep your eye out for.
Ooh, printing what?
Something you can send into space?
Maybe. I don't know. He just said that there may be an announcement around that time frame. So some kind of contest that NASA's going to be putting on, I guess, or NASA related.
Cool.
All right, Andrew.
Hello. Okay, so the thing that I'm most excited about printing right now, it's like a project that I'm actually most excited to see finished so I can play with it. The city of Richmond got a grant from they gave a grant to Kaboom, the company that makes like pop-up parks and neighborhoods. And one of the things they're building is a jump rope that you can like attach to a wall with a retractable cord. And it's this really cool, like you can just walk up to a street corner and like pull a jump rope out of a wall and use it. And the handle for it, we're printing. Cool. Yeah, it's super awesome. And we're actually printing all the handles for them out of TPU, like NinjaFlex. So they're all like super bendy, and it's just been a really cool experience, like building something that I know is going to go be attached to a wall for like 20 years. And so I've been taking a ton of time working on it, and to make sure this is going to be something that's like playable with. So I can't wait to like actually just go jump rope.
This is a public.
Yeah. We'll
public
need a Mike from
yeah.
Neo Portnoy to make a visit to Richmond to use
That's
that for his make the maker.
Work on his double unders.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yes.
Does that work by yourself? Can you do like a wall in one arm and then just
Yeah,
jump?
so it's cool because they designed it and we helped with the like the rotation, but basically you've got the squishy part and then you've got a sleeve and then you've got a hard bearing with the rope leaving a 90-degree angle. So if you can visualize it, it's like a crank as you turn it. So when you're spinning it, the rope isn't actually going straight; it's like spinning in the handle. I'm not doing a very good job explaining this. We'll make a video. We'll make a video.
Awesome.
And we're talking about like NASA and space and stuff, and we actually just Chris, the other guy at 3D Central, released a really like low res scan of his face on Thingiverse in like 2011 when there was like 8 things on Thingiverse, and we met up with some guys at a maker fair in Hampton Roads, like on the coast of Virginia, and it turns out the NASA facility there had been using a blown up version of Chris's face to test out their like heads up displays in jet fighters for like the last 4 years, and we met them and we got to like see it. And there's like a video on our channel like showing like how it works and stuff. But like it was the most surreal. Like, wait, you printed out a copy of this guy's face and you've been flying it around like in low orbit for years. And the guy was like, yeah, totally. No, it's great. So we got to find out we were like Chris's face has been in like a NASA jet just flying around for like years. So if you see a NASA contest, enter it.
Andrew, I wanted to ask you a question about that jump rope. Are you feeling like you have to like mock anything up in terms of like test equipment to like see how this thing will handle like thousands and thousands and thousands of, you know, revolutions of usage? You know, like the way IKEA does with their stuff, just poking at furniture.
Yeah. I used to work in an R&D lab. My job was literally destructive testing. So like that's like the first thing that went through my head is like they're kids with their little grubby ice cream fingers.
Yeah.
But we've made a couple of versions of it, and so far, I don't know if you ever if you get a chance, print like a cylinder out of NinjaFlex and try and rip it. Like you'll tear a muscle in your shoulder before that thing breaks. Like it is insanely strong. And with that sleeve in the center to keep it from compressing, it like there is no doubt in my mind this will last as long as a bicycle handlebar made of, you know, TPU. Like,
yeah.
So
Well,
that's what I'm excited about.
That's awesome.
Cool. So the thing that I've been looking at, they most recently has caught my eye. I mean, besides the droids and the Star Wars helmets and all that stuff, this week on Thingiverse, they featured a 3D printed telescope. Have you guys seen that on the front page yet?
No.
Well, so if you go to Thingiverse, it's the first thing, right? It's their top featured thing this week. So I saw that one's got me intrigued because I mean it is an open body telescope. There's no like barrel or anything to block out ambient light. But so with the Eclipse, I was printing some stuff, some adapters and things for my telescope to hook my camera to, and all of a sudden this popped up. It might have been like Tuesday or Wednesday that they added it to the front page. So that got me interested in making my own telescope. And as I'm looking at it, there are a lot of models and different DIY projects for making different types of telescopes. So that's currently like on the forefront of my mind that I really need to print this. Like that kind of is going to take precedence over the Star Wars stuff to print.
What kind of non-printables?
Telescope, but what was that?
What kind of non-printables are you looking at here? It looks like some carbon rods maybe and the mirror. Is that everything else printable? And
yeah, it looks like everything else is printable. And there's even... Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was, sorry. Yeah, everything else is printable?
Yeah, you got some carbon rods for the support and all the other pieces are printed. And then I saw another one on Thingiverse then as I was doing a little bit of looking today that uses a Raspberry Pi camera in place of the 45-degree mirror that would angle it out to the viewfinder. You put a Raspberry Pi camera in there. So I'm kind of looking at like that open design as being something lightweight that can almost be broken down and put into a case, a small case. And then taken apart and set up. So like when I go to the Outer Banks and stuff, it would be awesome to go down there. And at nighttime, I mean, it is, you go out in between the towns and it's just pitch black. You can't see anything.
Perfect.
Stars. So it would be kind of neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll show real quick. I'll do a screenshot of that if I can. Where is it? Let's do it this way.
So what you buy, like you buy the lenses or something separate? The rest of it?
Yeah, yeah. So Make Magazine has one, which is this. This is using PVC pipe as the body. It's got a reflector down in the end of it and the Raspberry Pi camera. So this is the one I was talking about that's got the camera attached to it. This is the premise that I'm taking that I'd like to integrate into. Hang on a second. This one, right on the Thingiverse front page for anybody who wants to find it. Now, this one is a work in progress, but you can see it's a completely open build. I'm not exactly sure how well that'll work, but take and combine these two, this thing would be able to collapse pretty well as opposed to the one that uses a PVC pipe body. If you're out in the dark, this probably would work pretty good.
Yeah.
And then add the Raspberry Pi camera to that.
What do you think the cost of the mirror, or like, is it a convex mirror, the way, or concave, convex? Wait. You know, the curvy in.
That's concave.
Concave. I don't know, stalactites, stalagmites. I don't know why I can't keep some of that stuff straight.
I think it's a pretty standard mirror that they're using. That's the one thing I haven't looked up yet is what the costs are on the mirror. Because like the carbon fiber rods, I mean, the cost on those are pretty minimal. And even if you didn't want to do carbon fiber rods, you could do, I have a bunch of rigid aluminum tubing and stuff that could take place of the carbon fiber rods that I already have on hand. Sure. So really, like if I was going to do this, other than like nuts and bolt hardware, the mirror, the reflector would be the only thing I think I really need to purchase out of that whole project. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's a 4-inch mirror is what that was using. Let's see, do they have links to the parts?
Yeah, I feel like I gotta get up on the maker soapbox a second, because like I feel when I see stuff like this, it's what like gets me just so fired up about having the ability. Like, what would it have cost you or required, you know, just 10 years ago to like get into amateur astronomy? And you know, now we have tools that'll get us most of the way there with just getting a couple little parts shipped, and it just really enables a creativity and an experience that just was never had. And I feel like we gloss over it because we're part of the community and we see it all the time now, but it's pretty dang amazing if you think about it, right?
Yeah, definitely. 200 millimeter mirror. So what is that? 8 inches? 6 inches?
300 is 12, so it's about 8.
It's about 8 inches.
305.
8.
Curious, I'm looking here to see what it would cost. For the cheapest version, $15.
That's a pretty low barrier to entry for astronomy.
Yeah, it is. Now, I'm sure that I'm seeing $15 being the lowest one with just a quick Google search for a 200 millimeter concave mirror, and $160 being in the high end of it.
I mean, that's the real guts of it, right? I mean, that will drive the quality of the whole thing, the size and the quality of the manufacturer on the mirror.
Yeah, so like with the telescope, you got two things. You've got the quality of the glass, just like any camera. The quality of the mirror is by far the most important thing. The second thing is for viewing at a great distance, being able to see like the moons of Jupiter and stuff like that, or see galaxies. Stability is the second thing. That's the only concern I have about the one that looks like it's pretty open build, there's not a lot of weight. I mean, weight adds stability in most cases. That doesn't have a lot of weight to it. So that could be a problem. If you're trying to see, like I said, like the moons of Jupiter, which is pretty easy to do on a decent telescope, decent being like $150 to $300 telescope, you can see the moons on Jupiter. But any vibration makes it almost impossible to take pictures of it.
That's why people do like a remote setup. Like, can you remote actuate? Especially if you're using a Pi, I gotta imagine you have options to remote.
Yeah, I mean, like with the telescope that I took to the eclipse, I have a motor driver on it that you set it, you align it to the North Star, to Polaris, or I guess if you're in the southern hemisphere, I don't know what the southern star is, but in the northern hemisphere, you align your telescope to Polaris, and then from there, you can set it on anything else. You set the motor to the speed, the stars or the planet or the moon, and then it'll track it across the sky just from the motor. You can do a lot more accurate things with the Raspberry Pi and some servos if you wanted to, or not servos, but stepper motors.
That's so cool.
So Matt, you're saying like an equivalent, like if you were to buy a telescope, I'm not into astronomy, so I don't know, but if you were to buy like say an equivalent telescope, you'd be looking at $100, $150, $300, what?
So the Galileo telescope that I have, which would be pretty close to equivalent to that open build, except for the fact that it's not an open body, it's got the tube. I paid $150, I think, off of Craigslist for a used one. That came with the driver and all the motor that tracks the stars and everything. I'm looking here now. Mine without the magnifier in it is a 900 millimeter equivalent. With the magnifier, I think it's the magnifier I have puts it up to 2400 millimeters. I'm just looking here real quick. 8-inch telescope. So brand new, you'd be looking at, on the low end, it looks like about $400 for a brand new one.
Yeah. That's just so awesome.
I mean, that build looks like, unless you're changing collars and stuff, really, I can't imagine that that's got more plastic in it than my Shore Trooper helmet does, which is 2 kilograms worth of plastic. So you're talking $40 plus, on the low end, a $15 mirror, or on the high end, you're looking at like $175, and you built it yourself. You have the satisfaction to say you did it yourself.
And you can like add whatever you want to it too. Like it can be the thing you want instead of the one from the shelf, like from the get-go. Yeah, that's awesome.
Sorry, I kind of stole the conversation there for a minute with my project.
Awesome. No, that's the most elaborate one that I've heard. Like,
yeah.
This is one of those things that, like, I'll have this on my mind for a little while. I may start to print pieces for it and stuff, but with having other things to do, like, it's going to be my idle time print for the printers when I'm not doing something. Yep, exactly. If I don't have anything running on the printers, like at the moment, I've got 4 of them sitting here in front of me doing nothing. They should be printing parts for this.
That's a crime.
I know.
Cool. Well, guys, I'm taking off. This was an awesome live stream thing for like my first one. I'm going to do a great job of the articulation right now. But
gesticulation, articulation.
Yeah, just to really drive it home here. Anyways, guys, have a great night and everything. And everyone in the chats, thanks for chatting and hanging out.
Andrew, real quick before you cut loose, just tell everybody where they can find you, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, so you can find us across like
YouTube.
Every social media platform ever under @3dcentralva. And you can find us on YouTube @3dcentralva. I'll put a link in the chat before I take off. And you can find us on Twitter @3dcentralva and Periscope and Vine, rest in peace. Pretty much all over the place. So at
And you can find them in Richmond, Virginia,
Oh, yeah,
too.
you can
right?
actually find me at 3D Central, like the store. I'm there like every day. So if you're in Richmond, 1308 West Main Street, come say hi. I'd love to hang out with some 3D printing folks. So come hang out.
Yeah, I can validate. He's telling the truth. I stopped by and he
Yeah, Vicky came
visited
by
with us.
and had an awesome time, and like we had it was awesome. It was like so cool.
That is awesome.
So yeah, more people come to 3D Central so we can like take pictures and build stuff, and you guys can like show off your projects. It'll be great. right.
Andrew, not this Saturday, not tomorrow, not the following Saturday, but it'll be the Saturday after Labor Day. We'll be stopping in on our way back from the Outer Banks.
Done.
Should be midday
Awesome.
or something.
Cool.
I know. I
We'll
missed
see you
you going down and coming back from the eclipse. It was a little late for us.
Sure. Yeah, it was I had a big box, like we stood out front in front of the store. We had a big cardboard box with a pinhole camera, like a hole in the back, and then a sheet of paper. And we had like a couple 3D printed pinhole cameras, but I had like the giant cardboard box, and unsurprisingly, that's what everybody wanted to use. So like people just kept walking by and like trying it on, and it was awesome.
Cool. All right, thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Night, Andrew.
And we've got a add-on as Andrew's leaving. Joe Mike's coming in. Joe Mike, you want to
Joe
introduce
Mike's here. I
yourself?
gotta leave now.
Hi, Joe Mike.
We can't hear you, Joe Mike.
He's muted.
No, he's not.
He's messing with us. Oh, he's got those
He's got the iPhone, or is it the AirPods?
the AirPods.
We're just waiting.
But
We're
you
just
look really
waiting.
cool.
Click on it. Just click on it
Click on
everybody
him so
can
everyone
stare
can
at
only
him,
stare
too.
at him. There we go.
Yeah, I can show you one print I did while he's connecting his mic. It was a vase I designed in Fusion 360, and I printed it like this on the side with the supports underneath here, and then I changed filament midway. So this was inspired by Devon, that has a YouTube channel, Make Anything with.
Yeah. Yep.
So he did a similar print, and I tried this out, and it came out really well.
Wow, that's cool.
That's awesome. I like how you print everything
Yeah, I
up
like-
on its side like that.
I like the diagonal. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a random shape on the top and a random shape on the bottom, and then I did a loft between them in Fusion 360 to get the model.
You print that. It almost looks like it's printed in like ABS and then acetone smooth or something.
Yeah, actually, it's just rated ink PLA, and I sanded it down quite a bit.
Wow, I'd say because that's glossy smooth.
Yeah, I sanded it down, and then I spray painted it with a clear spray, so it's quite glossy.
Yeah, that looks great.
Can you hear me?
Joe Mike, did you get? Hey, there we go. We got audio.
Okay. I'm on a MacBook, and this is foreign to me, so yeah. Hi everybody.
Freaking Apple.
Howdy, Joe Mike.
Freaking in. How's everyone doing this evening?
Good.
Nice.
Tip top.
So do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? And we've all already covered our favorite prints that we've done. So favorite print that we've done so far, and everybody's already talked about the one thing that is currently on the front of their mind that they have to print. Their most favorite model or idea out there right now.
Ooh, that's a good one. So I'm Joe Mike, and I've been out of the loop for a little bit, but working my way back in. Favorite model that I've printed so far is probably the 2B print on Thingiverse that I found. It was that giant full-size skull that I printed on the FT5. that thing. I've printed at least 2 full-size ones, and I've printed I don't know how many small scale ones just for random things. But I love that particular model. The one that I want to print, there is a Saturn V rocket. I've already printed one Saturn V rocket that is a snap fit model, but I want to print out the one that has like the scaffolding and everything next to it, and it's like massive. That's been kind of on the top of my list for a while. But yeah, I think that's it as far as models. I don't have a whole lot that I have left on the list. I haven't been as vigilant as I should with keeping up with the new models out there on Thingiverse, so I'm a sinner. But yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Awesome. I know which Saturn V rocket model you're talking about. I've seen that too, and it's somewhere in my list of one day I'll get there and print that. I want to print one of the rockets like a Falcon 9 or something that I can actually put rocket engines in and launch it. Like put the little model rocket engines into it.
Oh yeah, the functional rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, those look neat. Even what's his face? Maddie. Is it Maddie? Maddie? Electro Boom on YouTube, when he got his Taz, he printed these tiny little rockets and used capacitors as the motors. Just overpowered the capacitors, and that was pretty fun. That'd be fun to do.
I missed that. I'm just catching up on the chat here. If anybody in the chat wants to post a link to their favorite model, I could bring it up and screen share it if you guys want. Even better if it's a picture of your print of it, or models that you want to print. If you guys want to post them in the chat, I'll try to bring them up for you here to show to everybody. Otherwise, while we're waiting on that, does anybody have any current projects that they want to talk about or share with the community?
Yeah, basically, my projects are getting the landscape prints and painting, and that's still like my favorite projects so far. So I think I'll do quite more of YouTube videos with time lapse of me painting the landscape, and so that's basically what I have planned for the next weeks.
Do you have any, as far as like an end in sight for how many different ones you want to do? Like, are you 50% of the way through the different landscapes that you'd like to print, or any idea where you're at with it yet?
No, I have quite a number of places in mind, and I don't have a finite number of places to print, but I think I'll probably do at least 20 that I have in my mind of like locations where I would like to do a print of, so I can create a quite big queue of locations to print. Just with like thinking about places I like around Iceland. So
anybody else?
I've mentioned it before. Oh, you could go, Travis.
I was just gonna say that I don't have it.
Go ahead, Vicky.
I've been hearing on, a while ago, my husband coded a game table that he made with this high gloss finish that did not heat up, so it wouldn't warp PLA. So I've been making some, I don't know how it's going to look.
Oh,
wrong button.
What'd she do?
She must have hit the hang up. Ouch.
Oh, no. Damn touchscreens.
Or a meteor just hit Virginia. We don't know. Jeez.
I'm sure she'll be back.
I could jump in with what I'm working on if we're waiting for her to come back.
Go ahead, Pooch.
I don't know what that is. I teased this a little bit in my stream on Wednesday, but I'm actually kind of stoked on this because I'm a big Lego nerd, and I got a bunch of these plates, like randomly. Was contacted by a supplier and was like, "Do you have any interest in?" I was like, yeah, I kind of do, because I had an idea for something. I'm developing a frame. Sorry, Vicky.
That was mine.
Pause if you want to jump back in, or should I keep going? And then how do you want to?
You go.
Okay. So I got a bunch of these Lego frames, and then the Lego panels that we all know and love and probably remember from our childhood, and then I started modeling a picture frame that like clips onto the edge. So I teased this in my stream, and I'm designing it in parts, so there'll actually be dovetail pieces so that you can print it in parts and actually go. But there'll be a keyhole kind of thing, so you can actually clip it on and then hang it on the wall. And then that coincides with like a letters and number set that I've been doing, where it prints like on the top, so that basically you can utilize the panel in a vertical arrangement rather than the traditional horizontal. And it makes for a cool little piece of signage for kids to put on their wall, or it could be like a flashcard edition, 3 + 4 =. So I think there's a lot of cool options for it, and I'll be excited to see how well received it is. I know my son's stoked to have one hanging on his door, so we'll see how that goes. Also, I think it's a good opportunity for like a dual extrusion setup, because obviously you get like a way better contrast if I could print this in like 2 filaments, or I could always paint it and stuff too, but it might be a good opportunity to dig a little deeper on the dual extrusion setup or double filament. I really haven't done a lot of that, even though I have a printer that can do it. Every time I try, I seem to get too frustrated and give up on it. Just getting it aligned right and all that stuff. I might have to try Vicky's method of just doing a single extruder, change the filament out. I think that honestly, that seems like it'd be a less frustrating process. That's that. Pray tell, Nick. Continue, Vicky.
I'll try this again. So yeah, I've just been filling these little butterflies. It's a glass-winged butterfly. I guess you could sort of see the light reflecting off of it with the high gloss finish. And I've been just doing some experiments because they're hollow. So tried just on wax paper, which doesn't work out so good. Wax paper with cooking oil, wax paper with Vaseline is okay. Just painter's tape seems to be working the best, where I just put painter's tape behind the wing and throw the glass on there, let it cure, and then take the painter's tape off. So it's been some fun little experiments.
Cool. Does anybody else have a project that they're currently working on that they want to share? I'm sort of slacking. I'm trying to quickly think of things I need to print before I go to the Outer Banks, because even though I kind of want to, I'm probably not taking a printer along on vacation with us. The one thing I will be looking at printing here this weekend is I want to redo the way I mount my kayaks on the top of my Explorer. I have steel. It's basically like a half I-beam steel channel, C channel, that sits on top of my cargo rack. On the cross members on my Explorer, and it scratches the crap out of those the cargo rack. So I'm looking at doing some TPU and ABS prints to get that spaced up and off and protect everything a little bit better, and even to protect the kayaks too. Doing something there, mounting that. So that's something I'm looking at. I might do that this weekend. That might be a weekend project for me. But otherwise, I don't have any irons in the fire at the moment. I've just been too busy with work. I did see Chris shared his favorite print currently. Just give me 1 second here. I'll pull it up. Chris from Practical Printing showed this one here, the Voronoi Cat. And Chris has a good argument with this. I was giving him crap earlier on Twitter today. He posted this as his favorite, and I said, well, that's not very practical. And he came back and defended it. He is right. It is a very good model that you can print sort of quickly and be able to dial in your retraction settings and temperatures and everything, just because of the gaps and everything that you've got to cover. So to his defense, it is a very good practical print. And this is what he chose as his current favorite print. So Chris, I don't know if you have any more to say about that, but you can post it in the chat if you want, and I'll try to relay it. Nillabean says he's been printing Dungeon tiles. It has been his go-to here for a while, and they're his favorite thing to print.
Yeah, I just was talking on the chat there. We're about to start our D&D group back up, and the last time I printed out a bunch of minifigs for that. And this is a different group of guys, different group of nerds that we're going to be getting into it again on Sunday afternoons. So I might have to print out some more minifigs and other aesthetics just to enhance the realism and have some fun with it. So that's a good idea.
Cool. Oh, I'm still screen sharing. All right. Just because we are at that 2-hour mark, let's do our outros real quick, just in case anybody's rewatching the stream. This way they can find out where to catch everybody. I'll do one quick for Richard because he popped out and I didn't get to catch him fast enough to let him do his. Richard is from the Zedium channel. He does a lot of 3D printed train models, and he's been doing some live streams and stuff. They got him and his daughter both have Prusa printers that they've been live streaming about their models and prints and working through some issues and stuff that they've had as well. Everybody's channels will be linked down in the description below. After the stream, I'll go through and do that too. So we'll start at the very beginning as everybody. I'll try to do this in the order everybody joined. So we'll go to Martin first.
Yeah. Do you want just to have an introduction of my channel? Or?
Yeah, where people can find you, your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If you have a Patreon, I'm not opposed to anybody plugging their Patreon on my channel. So if you guys have a Patreon, have at it, plug that as well, or another way to help fund you guys as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I have a small YouTube channel that's called 3D Printing Iceland, or 3DP Iceland for short. And my Twitter account is also 3DP Iceland. So I've been posting images on Twitter of what I'm doing, and so that's my social presence at the moment. I don't have a Facebook group page dedicated to 3D printing, but Twitter and YouTube is the places to find me.
Okay, Pooch.
I'm Pooch, aka Repcord. You can find me pretty much every piece of social media / Repcord. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm probably most prolific on Twitter. I don't know why. I just, for some reason, became most addicted to that. I think I like the short form and the limitation, the forcing for brevity. And sadly, you know, we just closed down our MySpace channel. No, I never had a MySpace. I don't know, but everything else pretty much. Yes, I'll just stop there.
Travis.
Travis, A Pyro Design. I'm A Pyro Design everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Thingiverse, Xbox, anything. It's A Proud Design. So if you want to play games with me, print my prints, see my videos, A Proud Design.
All right, Joe Mike.
I'm having terrible technical difficulties today. I apologize. I'm under the weather. I've been sick all day. I'm Joe Mike. I almost said I'm Mojike, but that's what I am on Twitter. Joe Mike Terranella on the YouTube. Joe Mike or Jay Terranella on Thingiverse. Got some interesting things out there. I got a Patreon if that's out there. Haven't really done much of anything in the last couple of months just because you make plans and then life gets in the way. So I'm pushing hard to get more content out there. Yeah, health is #1 priority. Good stuff. So that's where you can find me. Or in Kansas City. Come to Kansas City, we'll hang out.
Travis, you have a Patreon as well, too, correct?
Oh, yes, Patreon. Pretty much any website out there, there's A Proud Design Pro.
And you guys are watching my channel. For those of you who are new, this is I'm Matt, and this is the How I Do It channel. You'll see a variety of general making and the ways that we do things, occasional interviews, and how other people do things. As you guys might have caught a few weeks ago, the occasional stream from a roller coaster or something like that. So thanks everybody for joining for the first 2 hours of the Friday 3D Printing Community Hangout. And we appreciate you guys coming and being active in the stream. And to everybody who came and streamed with us tonight, absolutely appreciate you guys coming and joining in. And I thought maybe she'd be back, but for Vicky, you can find her on YouTube at youtube.com/TGAW3D, I believe it is. Double check the description down below. I'll have the right link to her. She's TGAW on Twitter, and I don't know how much she uses her Facebook as far as her YouTube channel, so I'll leave that out. If she wants to include that, I'll put it in the description below as well. Vicky does all kinds of really cool and innovative ways of doing things with your 3D printer, as far as embedding things in prints, starting, stopping prints, recovering failed prints, things like that, which I know we've all kind of covered, but Vicky does definitely do a really good job and is really well known for her tutorials on things you may not think of every day for 3D printing.
Do we know what TGAW actually stands for? I feel like I came to the game late.
You know, I think she has explained that before, but I don't remember.
She has. I don't remember what it is either.
Yeah.
Thank God about...
She has a video about it somewhere. I saw it. It was...
That's what I thought. Yeah, she does.
It was something that from her childhood or friends found out. It was... yeah, so she has a video on it somewhere.
Somebody post a link on that. I think that's important background we need to know. Oh wait, yeah. The Great and Wonderful says 3D Central. Does that sound right? Sounds good to me.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that really does sound good.
Yeah,
even if it's not it, we'll just call her that.
That's almost better than Greg the Great.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's not. I don't think he's with us anymore. But anyway.
He was in the chat a little while ago. I don't know if he's still there.
So what happens now? Is this the part where we all go get drinks and just sit here and do that?
Draw on each other's faces.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stick around too terribly long tonight. But you guys are more than welcome to keep going even after I drop off. I'll let the stream go.
I still got to finish putting together this logo.
Travis has got to finish his project.
I got a lot of crap to do this weekend before I go out of town next week.
Outer Banks. How long are you going to be there?
We're going the Saturday before Labor Day, which is not tomorrow, but the following Saturday, and coming back 7 days later, that following the Saturday after that.
Man, you got a lot of travel coming up then between that and Maker Faire and stuff, huh?
Well, and we were literally just down in North Carolina on Monday too, because we drove down almost as far as where we're going on the Outer Banks, but we stayed inland, traveling down there for the eclipse. So yeah, this week and yeah, basically the month of September. Yeah, I got a lot of traveling going on that's not even work related. I'm sure I'll put a lot of miles on just for work too.
Yeah.
Do you have to fly to Maker Faire, or do you driving?
We're driving. I'm still trying to decide, for those of you who are still with us in the chat or even on the stream who aren't aware, Matter Hackers is having a meetup on Thursday night, and they also just announced today they're going to have one on Saturday night that is 21 and over Saturday night.
Yeah.
So I won't be at the 21 and over on Saturday because I'll have my daughters with me. But Nilla, if you're still in the chat, there's an open invitation for you to ride along up with me. If you can get your way to York, I'll give you a ride up the rest of the way to the Thursday night hangout or meetup. So I'm working out the details right now. I'm going to try to go up Thursday for the Matter Hackers meetup, and then come home again Thursday, work Friday, and then come back up to New York Friday night with Jen and both of my daughters. So we'll all be there, and that's I definitely got to give a public thank you to Pooch. Our admission into Maker Faire is
what the heck are you doing, dude? that was top secret right there.
Well, I owe you a thank you. It was awesome what you did for us. Definitely awesome.
I didn't want to see you miss it. You're so close. It's just I had to get you the rest of the way, dude.
Yeah, so we're going to be driving up. We're still working on our arrangements as far as the hotel goes, where we're staying and everything. But we'll be up. The plan is Friday night. We're going to spend a little bit of time on town Friday night. Dixie wants to see the Statue of Liberty, so we're going to go make our way over and see that. There's a few things that my wife wants to see, so we're going to do a lot of that possibly Friday night. And probably Saturday after Maker Faire wraps up, we'll head out and go do some more of that stuff. But definitely excited to get to meet all you guys that are coming. And for the ones that aren't here, we're absolutely excited to go see everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
For sure.
Can't believe I actually get to
go.
Yeah, that's going to be sweet. It's going to be a lot of fun. I was telling Travis today when we met up, it's crazy. I feel like I almost feel like I know a lot of these people that I've never actually met just from interacting with them so, intimately online. And it's going to be cool to put a face, like an actual, to hug it out.
A 3D face.
Yeah. Like an actual, flesh and blood person behind it, right?
Yeah.
No, it's going to be cool. Almost overwhelming, it's like, because it just seems like there's so many people that are going that have asked me, like, are you going to be there? Or and we need to do something though to identify, because it's like I know people from their handle online and have no. I was teasing Greg the Great. He had to go, and I have no idea what this guy even looks like.
Yeah, everybody from here up, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just stick with me. I know what most people look like. I've met a lot of them.
Okay.
We'll just power around with Travis.
Travis will be like, "Oh yeah, that's right on."
Yeah, I will. Chris said he's going to send some stickers along with Travis for Maker Faire New York. I've got stickers that I'll be bringing along, and possibly, if this whole screen printing thing goes well, maybe a few T-shirts as well that I'll be bringing along with me for everybody.
Nice.
I should say for everybody, but for the first however many people I make shirts for that I see.
Dibs. I call dibs.
There's a few designated ones for sure.
I feel like I've been stressing over, I don't know if stressing is the right word, but I want to have something, you gotta have some cool swag to like give out, you know. So I think shirts is a good idea. Like, but I always like, I try to take it to like Epic, and then if I can get something that's just like cool, I'm happy, you know. But
yeah, I do that kind of crap too.
Yeah, you already got something planned out, Pyro?
No, I don't this time. Actually, I took spinners to everybody at Bay Area Maker Fair, but spinners are kind of dead now. Everybody hates
spinners after that.
Those things are sweet. Yeah, I don't know, and it's tough because I'm flying, so it's like I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't carry like a whole bunch of stuff with, so I got to figure it out. I mean, I'm already packing a bunch of stuff because I'll have that printer bot with me and some other stuff, but we'll see. I'll bet American just hoses me on baggage fees or whatever.
It's funny too because when you go to like Maker Fair, it's hard to give somebody all these people something that's 3D printed because they all have their 3D printers and they like print all this stuff.
Right.
Versus like when I go to VidCon and nobody knows what a 3D printer is, they're like, "Oh, cool, this is awesome." Everybody at Maker Fair is like, "Oh yeah, another Maker coin."
Bring a bunch of CNC milled or injection molded parts or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to impress people at Maker Fair because it's like there's just incredible stuff there, right? So who knows? I mean, even just doing stickers or something, just so that you can have something for people. I don't know. I'll figure something out.
I have stickers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going after. It's not necessarily going for anything super exciting or anything like that. Just kind of like here, I've got something to hand out, and for us, it's more about going for the experience this time around.
Yeah, for sure. It's a fun thing. Is this your first Maker Fair, Matt? Like big one?
It's the first big one, yeah. I mean, we've gone to there's a local Maker Fest, which I actually didn't do this year, and then we went down to Nova. Nova was the biggest thing we've gone to, which is by no means anything remotely close to what New York or Bay Area is.
Yeah.
Happy Extruder says hot ends. You get a hot end. How about nozzles? I've got a ton of nozzles and stuff. Maybe I should just
here. You can have my used nozzle.
I mean, the printer kits would certainly be cool, but that's a lot. That's a lot to give away. But maybe you could do a couple or something. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Belly button.
If you do need, Travis, same goes for you. If you guys do need a way to get anything out there that you can ship, if you want, I mean, we're going to be up absolutely. If you want, you can ship it out to me, and I'll bring it along. I mean, I've got an SUV that it's only 3 of us riding up in. So,
well, you and all your printers, right?
Yeah, I'm not bringing the printers.
I thought
they were just permanently strapped in back there.
Because I'm staying with Preston. I said I thought about printing or shipping stuff to Preston too if I need to because I'm staying with him. So.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I don't even know.
Does that dude have anywhere to actually like sleep in his apartment? Because every time I see a video, it's just like he's got so much stuff everywhere, and it can't be that big to begin with if it's a New York apartment.
Yeah, he's got like a small apartment that he shares with people, and then he's got a small maker space too. So it's like they're separate from each other, but it's all small.
Okay, so he's not sleeping in his maker space that he does his videos in.
No.
He's not literally sleeping on a printer bed, he
was doing that before he moved to the makerspace. He had like all of his stuff inside of his apartment, and he said it was like his girlfriend was going to kill him.
Oh, Jesus.
Seriously.
Tony Ryan said he's shipping himself to my house.
Yeah, good thinking, Tony. Stowaway. You're going to have a couple stowaways, Matt.
Yeah.
That's cool that you're bringing the whole fam, though.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, even like Nova Maker Fair was actually being that it was like small scale. That was overwhelming. There was so much there, and we didn't get to see hardly. I'd say if we were lucky, we saw half of it. So I can only imagine. Now that was only a 1-day event. I can only imagine what New York's going to be like.
Oh yeah, dude, that Bay Area, especially with all the people there and stuff. You're trying to meet people. You're trying to see stuff. It's insane. It gets crazy.
Well, and that's like the whole reason why I want to make the trip up Thursday to the Matter Hackers meetup.
Yeah, definitely.
Is because like the primary people that I really like, the YouTubers that I'd like to meet, you guys, Joel, Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff. Like everybody's going to be at that meetup. Angus and his wife are coming over now that he formally announced that. I'm sure they'll probably be there Thursday as well, would be my guess.
Yeah, the meetups are always really good.
Yeah, like that's – I hope to focus on meeting everybody there. and then like New York Maker Faire, I have no idea where that's even going to start.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like definitely when the Bay Area, the meetup before the Bay Area Maker Faire was definitely more relaxing. It was fun. We got to talk and chat and everything. And then Maker Faire is just like, it's just like you're running everywhere. It's loud. It's like people are trying to get videos and do interviews and stuff. The meetups are definitely where it's at if you want to like talk to people and stuff. So
Yeah.
Any veteran tips? And how many of these you been to besides the Bay Area one, and what other ones?
Well, I've been to like 3 different Matter Hackers meetups. I've been to a couple of VidCons. I've been to 2 Bay Area Maker Fairs. I've been to a lot of different conventions, but I've never been to New York before. I've never been off the West Coast before. So.
Where's Lauren? Why are you missing it? What's the story there? She says she's out of town, out of country.
Yeah, she's going to Poland. Nick's going to be there, but Lauren's going to Poland.
At least the representative is being sent, but it's probably just not quite the same. Bummer that the timing didn't work out, I guess.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. Nick's a cool guy.
To be determined. No, I'm just kidding. I'm excited to meet Nick. We rib back and forth online quite a bit, so that'll be cool. No, it's going to be awesome, man. That's great. So, were there any tips though for like how to best go about actually seeing the fair? Because I mean, it's the World Maker Faire. Like the scope of this thing sounds just like, how can you possibly see it all in 2 days, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because I like every time I've gone to Bay Area and stuff, I just can't see everything. Like I'll watch videos after I get back, and I'm like, damn, I missed that. Damn, I missed that. Like it's just so many different things.
Yeah. There must be some optimal pattern for like, circling the whole thing. But I don't know. To me, it's more about meeting and hanging out with people and, seeing some cool stuff along the way. So
yeah, exactly. That's how it is.
Love you too, Nick.
Oh yeah, here's if you guys can see it. Here's the shirts that I did for the channel.
I like
That's
it.
The front. And then, I don't know if I'm going to get this or not. Can you guys see the back of it there?
Generalist Maker.
So that's the.
I like it.
This one here's. This shirt cost me like $28 to make just this one.
That's the way it is for the first one, right? And then like every other one is minimal.
Well, yeah, because you decide, you know what, I'm not doing it that way again.
I was gonna say, like, at some point, somebody in the community's just got to invest in like some silk screening gear. If we can like crowdsource, because like I would love to be able to just make my own. I'm like, oh, that'd be an awesome shirt. That'd be an awesome shirt. But it's like I don't want to pay, $50 to just make 1 or 2 or whatever.
Well, that's exactly the route I'm going. My wife, I got her a one of the Cameo silhouette cutters, the die cutters, hobby ones, and this shirt's done with the iron-on vinyl. But I just started doing some screen printing. Just did the first screen for this shirt. Actually, it's actually sitting upstairs drying right now. So. Yeah, I'm going to be getting into silk screening, and then I've already got orders to do my daughter's cheerleading squad's T-shirts for the year, too. So,
nice.
Yeah, keep an eye out. It may be, if you guys are looking for like some small runs of shirts or something, I might be able to hook you up.
It seems like you couldn't really go wrong. I mean, people always want some shirt for something, right? But I don't know. I've never, I bet somebody in the silk screening business could say otherwise. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of pains behind it and whatnot, but I feel like I think you could do pretty well with it. Who knows? Lauren makes a really good point in the chat. The make sure to peel yourself away from 3D printing stuff because there's so much other, it's a maker fair, and obviously we get wound up in 3D printing, but I'm definitely excited to see, other media and I'm sure. Do they end up clustering a lot of it together by like type of media that things are made in, even, or is it just interspersed in general?
I mean, they'll have like a room with 3D printers and stuff. Just like, I mean, it is kind of separated a little bit, but there's a lot of stuff everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look, you're just gonna.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. I remember wasn't there like a drone racing pavilion or something at the Bay Area Fair, and
cool.
So they just try to put it all there'll probably be like a 3D printing pavilion and a laser cutting. Who knows? I'm excited to see how it lays out.
Yeah, I don't know. The New York one I hear is different than Bay Area, so
Very cool. Very cool. Silk screen thing.
Yeah, now we're no longer talking about 3D printing and Maker Faire. Now it's silk screening in the chat.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I try to do a little. I mean, I think we all kind of have some focus. I mean, I know Travis does a lot of mixed media stuff too, but like I like to try to inject a little bit more like generalist makes. Although, you know, the low hanging fruit for me is easy. Like if I'm trying to feature something in like my Make Everyday series or something like that, you know, sometimes I just get lazy and I'm like, oh, let's just find something on Thingiverse and print it real quick. But you know, when I have time, I like to get out and try to do bigger things. And I mean, making can be anything from like knitting and sewing and building, you know, advanced construction and, you know, whatever, or coloring in today's case. Ari and I got to get that up before midnight here. Today's Make Every Day, ladies and gentlemen, was a coloring project that I did with Pyro's daughter at the restaurant. Got a nice pic. I'll put up on Twitter after the feed here.
Yeah, there is, in my neighborhood, there's a Fab Lab, and my son has gone there several times with his after-school program, and he shows up with a T-shirt that he had printed on, like a logo or something he designed, or one time he came home with a laser cut piece of a cat he did, and the Fab Labs, if there are maker spaces, are a great place to try out different methods of creating stuff. So you could search for those kinds of venues to try out.
That's really cool. I feel like we don't have enough. There's a couple maker spaces I'm aware of, you know, around here, but they're far from me. Like they're down closer to Sac and Rockland and stuff like that. But I really would like to see more of that, like available to the schools and local areas here. And I don't know, maybe we'll bring it back. I'm trying to get one of the printer bots that I got from PrinterBot into my son's school, and you know, maybe it can be the makings of you know, something. But the high school, like I don't know how many people are still. We kind of dipped into this before, like how many have a shop class anymore or any of that. But like I'd really like to see the modern shop class with some, you know, some cooler things that would really, I think, hold interest and get people excited about manufacturing, fabrication, learning a trade, you know, things like that again, that I think really got passed by in this day and age. A lot of times probably because of funding.
Yeah, the Fab Lab that's in my neighborhood is a part of a school that if you want to learn carpentry or fixing cars or doing all kind of constructions, the Fab Lab is like an extension of that school. So there's a lot of interest in students in that school to get into 3D printing and laser cutting and all kind of stuff they can make there.
That's fantastic. And what age is your son again, Martin?
He's 12, almost 13.
Got to hook him young, right? I mean, that's great. And he's showing a lot of interest toward it, and
yeah, he comes to me all the time with stuff. He is making models in Fusion 360 and or finding things on Thingiverse, and he's asking me to print them out for him. So, and he was in this after school program. We started out with Tinkercad and 3D printing at the Fab Lab, and when I showed him Fusion 360, he said, that's, you can do more than in Tinkercad, so I want to have Fusion 360 in my computer also. So he's doing all kind of stuff.
Good for him, man. Yeah, that's really great to hear. I mean, I'm glad. I hope my son decides to stick with it. I think he gets hot and cold on things, but I mean, he's only 7. He'll be 8 soon. But It's always an interesting challenge. But generally he gravitates toward whatever I do, which is nice. So try to lead by example and realize that he'll kind of follow along as he feels like it. So we'll see. I'm excited to actually talk to Glenn about his experiences with his boys and stuff too, because I know he's going through the same thing, and I think it's awesome every time I see people involving their kids, Travis with Ari and Joel with his kids, and all that stuff, because I think it really is an important aspect of growing up, and I think it's a great way to learn something and be involved and do family time at the same time. So
yeah, he actually, Sander, his grandson, he did an episode on his own he was showing off some prints he did. So
I saw that.
Yeah, that's great.
Dude, the dude has a theme song. Did you guys hear that? Did you see that, man?
Yeah, he got a theme song made for him, so it's awesome.
Who did that? I was gonna say, are they composing like music there too? Because like that was a legitimate theme song. They
outsourced it to some guy on Fiverr.
There's a Fiverr. I shouldn't be surprised. There's a Fiverr for theme songs.
Yeah, so they found some guy to do a theme song.
That's cool. I never would have even thought of that. Yeah, Fiverr. Happy Extruder saying Fiverr too. Hey, why not? Find somebody to do everything. Yeah. I mean, for what it was, I mean, that was totally worth $5 in my mind. It was almost like, that's funny. Like it started it. I'm like, is this hokey? No, it's not hokey. I mean, like there was some production value to it. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Nick, you got to get a theme song too, bud. For $5, why not? Right?
Nick's got to get a theme song, and then when he comes to Maker Faire, he's got to have a Bluetooth speaker playing his theme song as he walks around.
No, he needs like an old school like 80s boombox playing it the whole time, and then just play it around Lauren like day in and day out until she just goes crazy. Right? I'm sure she's loving me right now. It's Nick. Who knows how it goes? So be fun.
Oh, now you got that stuck. Boys. Thanks a lot.
I'll give you it's Nick, your company's 3D. Your company's computer guy, right? Wasn't that the whole shtick on Saturday Night Live? You guys remember Jimmy Fallon was the company's computer guy? I think his name was Nick something. Anyway, it's random. It's probably getting late, and I'm getting punchy now, so this might be my cue to bow out.
That's what happens at late night after the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-hour mark cuts loose. That's yeah, actually, I am going to get running tonight. Like I said, I wasn't going to stick around too long tonight. Too much crap to do tomorrow.
Well, so good time to call it. I think we lost a couple people in chat too, although it looks like still have you guys. You East Coasters are hardcore, staying up late. I guess you might have to be used to it with watching West Coast baseball and stuff every once in a while, and staying up later than I usually would. So good on you.
We just do this. You guys will come out here to Maker Faire. We can handle you.
Yeah.
It's
we're all jet lagged.
Yeah.
What time is it there, Martin?
It's almost 5 a.m. in the morning. So.
Oh man, you were up early.
We started at 2 a.m.
I didn't go.
Look at geography. Like Iceland's on that side of the world. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same time zone as London in England.
Oh wow. So, are you usually up early, or are you making an exception for us here?
Yeah, I'm up late because I didn't go to sleep.
You're up late. He's doing the all-nighter.
Yeah. So the stream started at 2 a.m. and so I'll go to sleep now and sleep until, I don't know, 12.
Well, you win, my friend, for the late night. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been drinking sodas and coffee and getting caffeine and sugar in me. So.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, Martin. Realize staying up, or even if you only got up at 2 a.m. just to stream with us, is an honor.
Yeah, it's great to take part of this because I've been watching the shows for like 2 months, and I saw the value in the community, and I really want to be part of it. So this was the place to do it, I think.
Yeah. All right, guys. I guess unless anybody has anything else, let's call it there.
Yeah.
You guys all good with that?
Yeah.
Good.
I am good with it, my friend. It was awesome hanging with you guys. Look forward to catching you next time.
Yeah, thanks again to everybody in the chat for joining us. Next stream will be on September 9th. I'm sorry, September 8th at 10 p.m. Eastern. I will be in the Outer Banks, getting packed up, ready to come home Saturday morning. But I'm still going to try to make the stream. I just won't be on too late for that one because I got a long drive ahead of me the next morning. So keep an eye on the Facebook group, the Twitter account, all the different social medias on where to find the next stream. And if you haven't already, follow the @F3DPCH account on Twitter. The links are always posted there, who's hosting, and what the YouTube link is to get to it. If you guys are interested in joining us in the stream, send me a message or the F3DPCH account on Twitter. Send it a direct message, and we'll get you hooked up with the Google Hangout that we post all the links into. So that's all. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Yeah, bye.
Peace out, all.
Bye.